Let's create this hair. We are a bit in the rush, so let's turn on my PC. Of course we need good vibes, so let's play some music. So let's start. My friends, let's shift A, the very classical combo that we're gonna do, and today we shall add a cube very untraditionally. Usually before we were using this sphere, right? So I just positioned with GZ and positioned the cube here on the top of our body just to see the perspective. Today we are going for a different new style, and so it's gonna be probably quite rough. So first of all, number one, tap to the edit mode, and we're gonna SX, and let's just scale it again so it's nice and aligned with our head, and in this direction here SY, and also let's just drag it out like this. Okay, that's easy enough. G, Z, and now let's just move this hair somewhere around this position. This is looking really great, I would say, already. So I tapped into the edit mode, and now idea today here is to make kind of asymmetrical hair. So let's add the cuts with Ctrl R, and now on my mouse with the wheel we can adjust the number of the cuts. So this will make the cuts in this direction. You can see that that's all that I achieved with just, you know, a few clicks on the keyboard. Very easy, no rocket science again. And you know what, at this point I think we also deserve to make some cuts in this direction. So let's make 3, left click and escape. Okay, and let's also cut it in this direction, and let's see number 3, and let's see how many cuts we want here. So I guess we'll go with 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I'm still able to count at this hour. So now I think we shall select those vertices here. Yeah, let's just select those. Now let's G, X, and let's just move them to the back to see the actual face. Okay, this is perfect. What I also usually like to do is add a subdivision surface modifier to see how it looks, and I already believe that this is a very hilarious, I would say, kind of hair that would already work as a as some kind of style, right? And so now let's make it a little bit more shaped. So I'm gonna toggle the X-ray view actually. Now I'm going to the view of number 1. I'm gonna select those vertices. We're gonna G, X, and let's just move them in like this. G, X. Okay, we are still working in a way that we actually want to keep the whole you know, symmetry of all the meshes, but later on we actually gonna do some mess without it. So now I select all the points here on the top, and we're gonna just scale it down like this. Okay, so now we are working to get a rough shape of the hair. So in here, when we select all those vertices, it's actually important to S and now look in the Y-axis, otherwise you would be making the changes in a different axis. So that's something that you definitely don't want. Okay, now let's see what happened. How do you like this? I actually do like this so much. Okay, now let's proceed even further. Now again the X-ray view, and I think here we just wanted to select all those, but we will scale this now in all the directions like this. Okay, look at that, look how beautiful and curvy it's here, and also on the back. Okay, on the back it's maybe we are missing a little bit of the hair here. So I think the easy way to do and fix that would be just X review, and now we're gonna select those vertices here, okay? And I think I will also basically we're just gonna select those. It would be, there's definitely a way easier way to select those, but I'm unfortunately not a blender guru himself, so let's just do it in the dummy way, G, X, and let's just drag it out, okay, like this. And of course we can also play with the shape of it, so toggle X-ray view, Control 3, and now let's just select those vertices, G, X, G, Z, G, Z, and down, okay? So basically now you would get a perfect, yes, a perfect curve here. So wow, I really like this. It already looks kind of funny. I think we will proceed with the same way of creating the hair later on, but today what I wanted to actually do was to create kind of an asymmetrical style. So now we're gonna break the whole hair of ours that we were preparing here, so I'm very sorry to do so. Please pardon me, and you know what, let's make it just slightly more rounded. So I'm gonna go with this vertex selection. Let's select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna toggle on this Y, and the thing that this did is that it's gonna reflect the modifications here on the sort of left side to the other on the Y-axis. So G, Y, and now you can see that the sign of the same is happening also on the other side, and that's exactly what we needed. Okay, so let's select also this one, G, Y, and let's just drag it out a little bit to get a nice, to like get exactly this shape. Perfect. So now we're gonna go and just mess everything up. So I'm gonna select these vertices here, or sorry, edges. Actually, I should have said edges. This blender terminology is killing me. So now let's see what happens if we S and just scale it down. Okay, we don't want that in the other direction. We just actually want it only here. So that's why now you see that it worked very well when we had it toggled on. And now let's just scale it down. Okay, cool, G, and now let's just move it down, okay? Yes, this is exactly what we've been looking for. Look at that. We can also shade the whole thing smooth, by the way. Just right click on the object in the object mode and then shade it smooth, okay? Very easy. If you want to get back, you just shade it flat. So now we're gonna add more cuts and we're gonna start adding details. So let's just select everything with A and right click on it and click on subdivide. Okay, so this just added more of those edges, and now the fun actually starts, because here right now we're gonna mess it up a little bit to create some kind of asymmetry, right? So basically at this point it's definitely up to like you and your desires. And so don't worry too, you won't actually mess anything up, because the hair usually is very natural, and so there's definitely no way to actually break it. So I'm just gonna move very randomly at this point, few of those points, and then we're gonna proceed. Okay, that was maybe too much. Okay. Look at that, look at how it looks. It's already very awesome, I would say. So okay, so I think that the only other thing that I'd like to fix is this edge here. It was way too edgy, and let's do that also on the other side. Just move it in slightly. Okay, this is again up to totally your taste. We can leave the back as it is, and now we shall do kind of the same here, but we will do that only for a few of those lines here. So let's select those, and let's select also those here. Again, a very dummy way to select it if you are not Blender Guru himself. And now let's number 7 as Y. Let's just scale it a little bit like this all together. We're gonna GZ it down. Okay, so now we're gonna create these waves here on the top of our Jimmy's head, right? So I guess that the better way of selecting those vertices was doing it just from this top view with number 7. Then just select those S, Y. Now let's make it very, very thin. G, and let's just move it down. Okay. I hope you like it somehow, because I kind of enjoy this, to be very honest. And in here, I think we're gonna X, again creating some asymmetry. S, X, move it like this. I think here we're just gonna move it up a little bit. And I think we're also gonna do some asymmetry here, so let's just SX here. And okay, let's do this one, SX. By the way, I'm just totally improvising this. I've never done this kind of hair before. Now let's select those as X. So I hope that you like the process as well as I do. Okay. So it would be also interesting, by the way, to just grab this X-ray view. Okay, that's okay. It's just fine. And let's just G, and actually let's do that with the proportion editing. So let's get this one S. Now we can just adjust the level of the influence on your mouse. This is what happens, but we're actually gonna be doing the G Z. Now let's just slightly bit, let's pull it slightly down, but just slightly, okay, with this level of the influence, and then just move it also a little bit to the right. Okay. Now let's see how it looks. Look at that. Okay, so I think that for the rough, or I mean the shape of the hair is definitely something that we like. Now let's do some play with the curves. So you definitely know this. I've done this before together with you. Shift A, and let's add a NURBS curve. This is the NURBS curve. Okay, tap in. Select this vertex here, or actually this is the envelope point. We're gonna E and extrude this curve out. So this is basically it. We can just G and then influence and play with the curve itself like this. Very easy. Now we're gonna go back to the object mode, Shift A, and let's add a circle. Now we're gonna make this path for the extrusion in this line here. So basically what we did before, again, select those 2 points here as for scaling in the Y-axis and just drag it down. Okay, very easy. Now we can select it, even this one, and make it a little bit more sharp in this direction. Select this one and do that on the sort of opposite side. Very random. Okay, again, select everything with A and scale it down. I had to speed up a little bit because we don't want to spend the whole night here with me, right? I mean, you can, but today I think I'm fine. So let's go to this line or curve properties. Select here the object. Select the object to be that Bezier curve there. So this one basically created this sort of thin hair line. We can also fill the gaps, so there won't be anything here. There won't be actually the hole. And now we can basically do everything we want with this. And basically we'll just rotate it in the Y90 on your keyboard, number 3. Place it in front of our Jimmy's face. Rotate it like this. Also, let's just scale it maybe like this. And now we're just gonna make one of those few hairs here that is kind of falling in his forehead. Okay, so that was the idea. So I really like this one. We're just gonna take those 2 points and just drag them inside. Okay, and perhaps we can also just like this. Okay, and now we select those 2 and we just need to move them inwards, so G's, X, and let's just get them in. Okay, and here we go. I Shift D again, which made a copy. Okay, and I think here we want to go with a little bit longer one, so let's just select those two, position in this way. So this part now will be speed up a little bit later on in the final video, so we don't have to watch me doing this tedious work of just playing with an easy curve, right? Like, this is not a rocket science, but you already get the idea, I believe. Because we did that already so many times. Alright, so thank you for being patient and staying here the whole time, even though we speed up a little bit, but you probably got the idea. I was just playing with a little thin hair here to position it in a way that they would go through in that line bar that we created. And so this is the final product for today. Look at our Jimmy's 80s hair. Looks like Leonardo DiCaprio, doesn't he? Well, I know. And this is the final render. Enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Thangys out.
Everybody has their job, 9 to 5, and getting drained. They settle for second best, scared to risk what the future might bring. What the future might bring. I hope